This Social Security measure gives at least some protection
for anybody to hand this out. We're asking for a chance to have the people who will receive the benefit to earn their way. The same principle established under the Social Security system in the 30s.
It is no longer acceptable to discuss women's rights as separate from human rights.
I know we can come together to face down the challenges of our own time.
Hello, welcome to the Democrats. I'm State Representative Cindy Rosenwald from Ward 3, and this show introduces the viewers in Nashua to candidates running on the Democratic side of the ballot for the New Hampshire House. This is my co-host, Representative David Campbell.
Hi, Cindy.
From Ward 6.
I'm from Ward 6 and a state representative and a candidate for election as well. And today we're introducing we're talking to the candidates from Ward 4 in Nashua, which is the inner city ward, and with us is Stacie Laughton.
Now, Stacie, you're a selectman right now.
I am.
What is that?
Selectmen in the city of Nashua are election day officials. We oversee the operational smoothness of the poll, and if we're not on the ballot, we're able to assist voters with that are visually impaired, and make sure that the
in the voting booth, you mean?
Yeah. Once in a while, if a voter is visually impaired or requests assistance, we can swear an oath and we can go into the the booth with the voter and
actually help them
help them. But because if you're on the ballot, we can't do that. Like this, for me right now, I can't do that, but other selectmen in the ward can.
So it's a great way to get to know your neighbors,
Yes.
being a selectman, because there you are, you're the helper who helps people vote.
Yes, exactly.
Now, as a new candidate, you've lived in Nashua a long time. What are some of the issues that you think impact Nashua and that you are going to advocate when you get to the legislature?
Well, when I get to the legislature, one of the issues that has been brought up recently is the issue of rail. And I believe rail is very important. It gives people access to job opportunities beyond Nashua, whether it be further up in the state, Manchester, Concord, or it could connect us to Lowell, which could take us to Boston, which will take you anywhere. And right now, access to jobs is very important, and sometimes we can't, get the jobs right in Nashua, so sometimes people need to commute, and rail would be extremely helpful in helping the economy, I believe.
Well, and it's a major initiative of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
The business community is completely, definitely, solidly behind expanding passenger rail up into Nashua and beyond, at least
Yes.
to Manchester. So they see it as an important economic development issue, and we all know how important the economy in Nashua is to the success of the rest of the state. So
Yes.
you would be working to try and move the rail project
I would.
along on its track, so to
Yes.
speak.
Stacie, I have a question about Election Day. I know that there's a new law in place, the voter ID law, which is being implemented over time.
Yep.
Did you see any confusion that day regarding the voter ID law?
Well, we had some voters that came in, generally they were pretty willing to show their IDs. The voters that weren't were ones that said, oh, well, we didn't think we had to. Some of them were doing it out of protest, but in Ward 4, we had a turnout of 504 voters, and about 30 or so didn't have IDs or refused to show IDs.
Right.
So it's maybe about 8%.
Yeah.
It's important, this is a good point maybe to tell our viewers that it's important to know that this law is being phased in, and that if you have a ID, if you have a driver's license or any official government ID, bring it and show it. However, if you don't have an ID, you can still vote.
Right.
Yes,
You can still vote, and all you have to do is fill out an affidavit, which is basically an oath that says you do live in the ward and that you are a registered voter. So So don't not go to the polls because you don't have an ID. If you have an ID, bring it to make the process quicker. But that's very important because we don't want anybody to feel disenfranchised on Election Day.
Yes. Yes, and speaking about disenfranchisement, one of the goals that I had when I ran for selectman was because we are the ward in the city that has less voters than any other ward in the city, and you know, one of the goals that I had was to try to boost the number of registered voters and bring new voters in, and so far, you know, we've each election, the presidential primary in January, we saw a high number of new registers that registered right at the polls, as well as on this past primary day, we had a lot of new registrants, less than in January, and we expect to see more in November.
Right, and some of those people are not new voters, but maybe they've moved from elsewhere in the city or another place.
Yes.
But they're counted as new voters when maybe they're just indicating that they've moved.
Yes.
And we can't emphasize enough that it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, or in most cases, actually in our city, the biggest chunk of voters is undeclared.
Yes.
The most important thing is get out and vote.
Get out and vote.
That's how democracy works the best.
Yes.
And remember that even if you don't have a photo ID, you can still vote. You just will have to fill out an affidavit.
Yes.
And I know that the city has been working to train its election workers to make sure they understand the new law. And people are not disenfranchised. People are able to fulfill their constitutional right.
Yes.
Well, Stacie, thanks for being with us this afternoon, and we
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we need to wrap it up. This is we've been with Stacie Laughton, candidate in Ward 4 on the Democratic ballot for state representative. I'm David Campbell,
Cindy Rosenwald.
and we're the Democrats. Thank you for joining us.